Mary had a little lamb.
From the classiest radio station on the air, this is...
Welcome to the Black Rabbit's Curse, where every shadow hides a sinister verse. Hear the airs thick with dread and tales of terror twist in your head into the dark unknown, where fear takes root and chills the bone. Beware, dear traveler, for once you're here, the curse may linger year after year. The Curse of Miss Mary Mack. That was a story mothers told their children, a nursery rhyme to sing on lazy afternoons, its origins long forgotten. Miss Mary Mack, all dressed in black, with silver buttons, all down her back. But in their quiet town, people knew the rhyme just wasn't a song. It was a warning, a dark echo of something terrible that had happened long ago. The legend says Mary Mack was a seamstress who once lived on the edge of the woods in the late 1800s. She always wore black, her silver buttons gleaming in the sunlight. She was known for making the finest children's clothes, but after a group of children went missing near her home, whispers started. Mary Mack was a witch. When the villagers stormed her house, she vanished, leaving behind her sewing machine, a pile of tiny black dresses, and a cold, unshakable silence. Years later, and her house rotted away in crumbling ruin, but on moonlit nights, people swore they could hear the faint hum of a sewing machine and giggles of unseen children. Decades later, the rhyme was little more than a playground chant. Emily and her two best friends, Lauren and Katie, had heard stories growing up, but they didn't believe them. On Halloween night, as a dare, they decided to explore the remains of Mary Mack's house. The house stood in an eerie silence, its wooden beams sagging under the weight of time. Inside, the air was damp and heavy. They found a sewing machine exactly as the stories described, with a single black dress draped over the table, its silver buttons gleaming faintly. This is so creepy, Lauren mumbled. Katie reached out and touched her dress, but Emily grabbed her hand. Don't! Let's not do anything stupid. But it was too late. Moment Katie's fingers brushed the fabric, a sudden chill swept through the room, extinguishing their flashlights. From the darkness came a soft, familiar hum. The girls froze. The humming grew louder, blending in with the faint sound of a sewing machine. Then came footsteps, soft, deliberate, echoing down the staircase. In a faint moonlight flickered through the broken windows. They saw her, a woman in a black, silver buttons catching the light. Her face was pale, her eyes sunken. Emily grabbed her friends. Run! They bolted for the door, but it wouldn't budge. Behind them, Mary's footsteps quickened. When Emily turned, she saw something horrifying. Mary wasn't walking. She was gliding, her feet hovering just above the ground. They screamed as the door finally gave way, and the three of them tumbled into the night. The next morning, Lauren was gone. Emily and Katie swore they had been with them when they escaped, but no one believed them. The town organized a search party, but they found no trace of her, only her shoes, left neatly on the footsteps of Mary Mac's house. Haunted by guilt and nightmares, Emily began researching Mary Mac's history. She discovered something the town had long forgotten. Mary Mac had been a seamstress. She had been a mother. Her 3 children had died tragically in a house fire, and Mary had been blamed. In her grief and rage, she had stitched tiny black dresses for each of them, sewing silver buttons down the back as a way to bring them home. But the ritual had gone wrong. Instead of reviving her children, Mary had trapped their spirits in the dresses. Desperate to free them, she needed other children to take their place. That's when the disappearance began. Emily's blood ran cold as she realized the rhyme wasn't just a warning. It was a spell. The words, repeated by the children for decades, kept Mary Mac's spirit alive, feeding her power. One night, Emily woke up to the soft sound of humming in her room. At the foot of her bed stood Mary, her dress darker than the shadows, her buttons gleaming. Beside her was Lauren, her face pale and lifeless, wearing one of the tiny black dresses. Emily screamed, but Mary raised a hand, her voice a whisper that silenced through the air. It's your turn now. The last thing Emily saw was Mary reaching out, silver buttons reflecting the moonlight as a nursery rhyme echoed in her mind. The next morning, Emily's parents found her room empty. On her bed was a black dress, perfectly sewn, with silver buttons running down its back.
Sit here.
The curse of
Heart still racing.
Miss
eyes
Mary
wide
Mac.
open. Remember, the terror doesn't end when the video does. You may try to forget, but the shadows have a way of following. The whispers grow louder each night, don't they? So go ahead, close your eyes, if you dare. But know this, you're not alone. Not anymore. But the Black Rabbit's curse has seen you, and it's waiting. So what happens when the lights go out? If you want to find out, make sure you come back. But next time, will you be ready? Sleep well. Or don't.